welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Yorio. Tonight, we have the Beanied One, Gerard Barrera.
Hello.
No, you gotta get up and do the dance move if you're gonna do that.
No.
You gotta do the dance move. That's
Oh, hey, what's up,
the
nerds?
floss. It's almost the floss.
And then we've got Theo, 98 Degrees, Walski up in the corner.
Ooh, am I Nick Lachey?
Ooh, yes. Yeah, because
Thank
only
you. I will
because
take
he
that.
chose
As long as I'm not his brother.
Yeah.
And down in the corner there,
Jason looks like
We
he's
got
freaking
Jason
stonewall
all
face.
like stonewalled face, trying to decide if he's gonna be in sync or
What are
Backstreet's
those-
back in the corner.
What are those heads in like the islands
It's
or
a
whatever?
lion's made.
What are
How's
those
it going,
stone
guys?
heads?
How's it going? I can
Hey,
roll
I
around
I know
today.
what you're talking about, Theo.
Hey, I got some gum from Dum Dum for Jason over there.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you. That counts too.
Gum for dum
That
dum.
counts too.
Gum for dum dum.
Gum for Dum Dum. Oh, so how's everybody's week been?
Bro, it's Thursday today.
Yes, it
It's
is.
almost done for the
Yeah.
week.
I was looking forward to today. Now the Beanied One doth a regular job.
Hey,
Normalcy has
sharing
actually
in the pain.
kind of been a challenge. It's especially since I've had to physically start going to the office. So I'm
how much is the
forcing
commute?
myself to get up. It's like 30 minutes. It really isn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
Wow, 30 minutes?
Yeah. But like that, it could be less because traffic really hasn't been that bad. But anyway, yeah.
I have to wake up, Jerry.
I wake myself up like 20 minutes before I actually have to wake up, which is 6 o'clock.
No.
It's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm already
But-
working by that time.
Yeah.
Right? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm already on lunch.
Oh yeah. See those
I'm
hours,
still
bro.
asleep at that point.
Yeah,
Even
goddamn.
with the time difference, I'm still asleep.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good. It's been really good. It's just it's been a challenge like getting used to like normalcy, but it's been a nice getting used to. And work's been cool, you know, like they put me on the phones now, so I'm
Are you solo or you still got somebody?
Oh
Like
well,
shadowing you?
I'm solo. I've been solo for the last couple days.
Oh, I thought you were still training and
Nice.
stuff.
No.
Not on phones anymore, but
Okay.
no, I've got my two coworkers with me in my department, and it's
Yeah.
cool, man. Like it's our little group, but it's been
I
good.
like little groups
Yeah.
for teams
Yeah.
and stuff. It tends to work out better. It's
Yeah.
like Matt knows, like I had a hard time as team lead with a group of level ones and then a small group of quality. Like I favored my quality group
Dude.
over all the level ones.
I gotta
It's
call
like, it's like, no, too many people. Just leave me alone.
Theo, you did a custom shirt.
I did.
Nice,
do a
dude.
custom shirt.
Oh, I
That's
like
my
it.
name.
Oh crap.
I might
Nice,
have to
yo.
take your design and do one for me. Did you do anything on
for
the
it.
back of it?
Yeah, I got the full logo on the back.
Woohoo!
Sick.
Okay.
Damn.
I'm gonna have to
okay,
have
okay,
you do the
sir.
design for me.
Damn, he fancy.
You fancy. I mean, here I am. I'm just rocking the Return of
Oh,
Samus.
You got to do that with
Yeah.
that news.
He
Oh,
enjoyed,
yeah. Oh
he
my
enjoyed
God.
that direct.
Dude, and here's the other thing is like I'm Jerry and I have been talking to you guys about like since I moved to Arizona, my health has improved heavily, and like do this shirt when I first bought it when we went to Nintendo in New York. This thing fit like super tight, like even through the everything,
Really?
because it's even though it's an extra large, it's a smaller, it's like a slim fitting extra large.
Yeah, some
Okay,
fit.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But since I've moved, I'm down pretty much like 15 pounds since
Woo.
coming to Arizona, and this thing
Nice,
is all like loose down at the bottom of the shirt now. I'm like, wow,
There
I
you
can
go, man.
actually
There you
like
go.
I can wear the shirt and breathe.
Nice.
So hey, to anybody out there, benefits of adding a ton of water to your diet, because I haven't really changed a ton of my diet, but I'm drinking at least 1.5 liters of water a day.
Nice.
if not more.
It's
Yeah,
helped curb
that's
a
good.
lot of
Yeah,
my
bro.
like snacking, where I'm just like, yeah, I want to go get a snack now. I don't really think about it anymore. So, but let's get on into this because there is a lot to talk about with E3 and whatnot that we had over the weekend. But I want to do some shout outs first. So as everybody knows that, since Black Lives Matter started in the States, we've been a very staunch supporter of it, especially in support of our friends that are African-American, with Cleve Adams, and we've got the Rusty Rupees, John Bentley, Tommy Earl Jenkins, to name a few. Today it was signed into law that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. Which, come to find out, I didn't know this, but down in Texas, it's been a holiday for the last several years. I think it was 1980 or something became.
Yeah, it was the first state.
So
yeah,
it's first state to recognize.
I just learned that today too.
It is a federal holiday, and it was something that it was passed 100% unanimously over in the Senate. It was passed minus 20 people in the House of Representatives that voted against it, because they said it was going to cost taxpayers millions of dollars. Dude, let's talk about that. Juneteenth, for those that don't know, is...
I wonder where they were from.
19 Republicans and 1 Democrat.
Wow, 1 Democrat. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an interesting one right there. Who's crossing enemy lines?
Yeah. I don't know about that, but I know it was 2 House of Representative Republicans from Texas, where it's already a holiday. Said it doesn't need to be federal. But for those that don't know, Juneteenth is when the Union soldiers went down to Texas, which was the last slave state, and said the slaves are free. And it was the end of slavery in America. So that's kind of been a very, very important holiday that some in the political arena have tried to do political rallies on the day in poor taste and stuff like that. So now it's going to be a federal holiday. It's going to be great. I think it is a very, very important holiday for the Black community, and they deserve it. They've deserved it for a very, very long time. So shout out to that. Also, I want to shout out to Austin Matthews, which everyone knows. We've had him on the show. He is the voice of Roche in Final Fantasy VII Remake. His fiance had top surgery this week and has been recovering from it. And just to kind of, give him a shout out, because, they are going to, potentially need some help, financial, whatever. Just make sure to go check out Austin's Twitter account for some things that they may or may not need to help out a little bit while he's recovering. Also, make sure to give Megaton Girl a listen. It is his passion project. It is a radio play, essentially, that he is putting on, and getting some of his colleagues in the voice acting community to come on and do voices and stuff for us. So, give it a listen if you haven't already done so. And lastly, speaking of, those that are part of the CGN family from Final Fantasy VII Remake, John Bentley, voice of Barrett, his son Quincy, otherwise known as Q, graduated from high school this past weekend.
So congratulations,
Quincy,
man.
Congrats. And good luck with your next step in your basketball career, which is to do a year of post prep at Impact Basketball in Vegas. So they are Impact Basketball is a kind of like a post prep academy that kids go there to help with SAT scores, college prep. Also, they help fine tune a player's game, so to speak, to help them shorten some things up, make them fully college ready for a lot of the some of the D1 schools and stuff out there. So, Q, good luck at Impact. Hopefully you make some really good things happen there. I know your dad is super proud of you.
Yeah. Good luck.
Your dad and I talk quite a bit. Somebody is super proud of you. So with that being said, let's get into E3. So last week, everybody knows when we recorded, we went ahead and talked about Summer Game Fest because that actually happened before we recorded. So E3, first and foremost, I want to say media access was a joke. We kind of alluded to this last week. But
past, let's appreciate we are getting it. So
we are getting it, absolutely.
But we'll be ready the moment live comes back.
The reason I think it more so
But I agree.
You're
This year
absolutely welcome, Q, as you are in chat hanging out with us tonight.
Nice.
Nice, Q.
But I think what it more so is that with media access, when you're in the live person, you get to go meet with the dev teams, do actual interviews and stuff like that. And I think that's what E3 envisioned would happen, that you would have these virtual conferences. Well, there was no real place on the website that we could find that you could actually schedule, meetings with all these guys. It was all dependent on, let's get in a chat, a little group chat through the website and kind of send messages back and forth if you can, drop off your virtual business card, and that was it. So more so as I know a lot of people in the media industry were just like, you know what, forget this. We're just going to report off of the press conferences. So let's start with Ubisoft, which happened on Saturday. Ubi, the big thing that they kind of showed off was not Resident Evil, but a Resident Evil-esque type Rainbow Six would be the best way to put it. Where you're going in and dealing with an infection that's happening. If one of your team members goes down, you kind of got to go save them. They also showed off the new Mario and Rabbids game.
Which was interesting.
I will get it.
That was a fun.
I like the
cinematic.
I like the.
I have a lot of fun with the first game. I'm still playing through it. It's when I just go back to play some a couple missions here and there, and move on.
It was a lot of fun, and the story was a lot of fun. I kind of wish I kept it.
Correct me if
I finished
I'm wrong.
it. I gave it to my nephew.
With that first one, it was more turn-based, and
it was a attack RPG.
Yeah.
Okay, and the one that's coming out is not necessarily a tactic, right? It's a little.
No, it's the same
my
thing.
understanding it's going to be TAC RPG.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought
game.
the playthrough looked a little bit more smooth than turn-based, like they
It
showed
did,
in the last
yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
No, because in the first game, like if you made a move and it had to jump off a block, they would make like little like animations. But it looked way better in the second game.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Mario Galaxy realm, because you got Rosalina in the stars and stuff. So outside that with Ubisoft, the only other thing you had Just Dance again.
Yeah.
Is there ever going to be a year without Just Dance?
No.
If Mo's concerned,
Mo will cry.
No.
He will get it. He will get out his tap shoes.
No, there was
and cry until they come back.
2019, I think.
No, I still think there was one. I still think
remember there was that.
No,
one
they had
year,
it at 2019. They were dancing on the stage.
No, I don't think they had.
Not in the middle. No, I'm talking the last one. Oh no, it was the last one we went to. Ubisoft had a stage for.
It was their presentation stage for everything.
But the presentation,
they did Just Dance for a little bit.
Did they?
Yes.
No, I must have missed it during their performance.
Yeah, I don't think.
Honestly,
I think they just did it on the main stage. They didn't have anything like
particular
for it.
Like they had a rotation
their
of
entertainment
things going on. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
But yeah, they talked about a little bit more Rainbow Six Siege and whatnot. But overall, one of the big things, just Beyond Good and Evil was missing again.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything about that for a couple of years. Looks like Jason decided he wanted to take his ball and go home, which is fine. But Ubisoft, there wasn't really anything that was.
It wasn't spectacular.
Memorable.
Their biggest, their biggest thing, their biggest ace was Extraction, which did look interesting. It's an original kind of.
I do like that they went the other route than it being multiplayer, being a co-op game.
Right? Because I was after seeing it, I was really expecting it to be kind of like their new Siege. But
let's discuss the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Nobody's asking for this. What people are asking for is bring back Vegas or something along those lines.
True.
An actual give us Rainbow Six. Siege, true. I get it. Siege has its place.
Yeah.
But people have been clamoring for bring back Vegas, or Broken Arrow, or Black Arrow, whatever it was, something where it's a single player campaign where you're actually trying to, do the thing. So
a lot more people are screaming for Splinter Cell.
Well, yeah, and that
to come back.
Yeah.
Well, I thought with Extraction it was still geared to being playable as solo. Is granted the other two the AI.
It's an offshoot of Siege.
Yeah. Yeah, you need
So,
a group. It's a great group game. But yeah, and they weighed heavily on Valhalla, which some of the updates I'm actually really excited for. One-handed swords finally, but they've really gone off the rails with the RPG element of Assassins. Like, it's a completely different game now.
Is it getting like too big?
It's
like
a
too
little
much to
bit,
do?
a little bit too
it's
much.
lost its soul.
Yeah, I kind of feel that because like I love Valhalla, but I really liked Origins, and
that's the thing is
kind of playing the same. It's kind of the
Origins
same thing.
Origins did a very good thing though, but with the fact is that it allowed people
that's when they
to,
made that change. They made that change to the open world like RPG element.
It's used for education, not even playing. So like it's actually teaching people how to read like hieroglyphics and teaching Egyptian history. So it's actually being used to teach.
And that was like kind of the heart and soul of like the past games, especially when you were Ezio Auditore, and those games were Assassin's Creed
well
games.
done on the pronunciation. I like
thank you
well done.
But it's really lost that some of those key elements that I'm really missing. Like, I still every once in a while throw in Black Flag to play.
Oh, that was
it's
so fantastic.
I mean,
that's actually
for me, that was
the only it's the only one I've ever beaten.
Really?
And finished. It's the only one.
Even to me, that was almost like their perfect Assassin's Creed. For me, like it still had all those elements, and then the sea warfare, like that was definitely one of the Assassin's Creed games. I replayed it like 2 times.
I thought it had a really good balance between a guided story and then the amount of side story.
Open world, yeah.
Like it was a good balance. You didn't end up spending like 20 hours doing side missions before your next main mission.
No. That's what
and this thing though is, I think it's the day and age now is just that you have to evolve your game to what people are kind of wanting, and they had to move away from.
But they're hitting that point where it's getting too convoluted for me.
Like, and it's no longer connected.
Yeah, and the other thing is
they're trying to appease too many opinions.
More and more DLC are coming out. The whole pay to play thing is becoming more and more of a relevant thing, which gives the game longevity. I get that, but also it's kind of hurting the franchise.
So the other thing I didn't know is, which is they covered in the presser, is that I didn't know they're the actual production company behind Mythic Quest.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that too until
I remember them talking about it, but I didn't know that either. Which is a good show.
The only reason I knew that is because I watched I watched the first season like two times. It's very clever and also like really cool about gaming.
So let's talk about Gearbox. So Gearbox actually had a presentation, and it started off with them showing some stuff from the set of Borderlands the movie. You got to see an interview with Kevin Hart. But I'm excited for it because of who's in the movie and whatnot, but I'm still going to hold my breath on it because we know video game adaptations aren't great.
As much as I want to agree as well, like I kind of have faith that because they have a great cast. But you're right, they could still screw up the movie.
Correct.
What's the story and what's the script?
I mean, like come on. OG Mortal Kombat had a really good cast of people in the when you look back at the 90s, right, had a good cast of who was at that time, and they still managed to kind of screw it up.
Because I usually feel like the same for Mortal Kombat and probably the same for the Borderlands movie is that you can't quite hit the same kind of feel through human acting, because I don't think Borderlands is going to hit that absurdness and the craziness with the right even director, with Tiny Tina. You can't replicate that in life.
They're gonna try.
It's gonna be
with
difficult.
the right director, like, you know, depending on who it is, they could get it that ridiculous, but still have it be
Jerry. Make sure
fun
you
and action.
forward in your application.
Oh, I will.
Speaking of Tiny Tina, that was the other part of the press or their presentation is they did a little bit more on Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
I'm actually
which
quite
is
interested in
a
this. It
take
looked good.
on Attack on Dragon's Keep from Borderlands. And speaking of Mythic Quest, Ashley Birch is playing the voice of Tiny Tina.
Of course, yeah.
So overall, again, it wasn't anything great. It was You know, it was their first attempt, really. It came off, you know, with them trying to do the absurdness that comes from Borderlands.
Right.
Yeah.
So next up, we had Square Enix, which, again, wasn't memorable outside of Guardians of the Galaxy to me. You know,
which was the first announcement.
They came out swinging, and
was it
now
the first
that
announcement? I thought Final Fantasy.
Oh, it was straight up. It
was the
started
first
first one
rated, and you know, after the Nintendo presser was announced that it is going to be coming to Switch as well.
Yeah.
So Jerry and I were talking about it. I wonder how the thing's going to truly look and run on the Switch. But it is, you control Star-Lord and interact with everybody else. So I like the concept. I will probably pick it up. We'll see.
Because it is until I hear your guys' review on it.
It is. Here's the thing is, though, it's Eidos Montreal is doing this, who's the studio behind Deus Ex. It is not Crystal Dynamics who's running the Avengers side of the equation, which they have Black Panther coming to.
I already have
Avengers.
the Galaxy Edition. Yeah, the Galaxy Edition pre-ordered. It's $80.
Oh boy.
Of course you do.
Good old Jerry can always rely on him to already have the pre-order.
And Jethrin hopping in from the Cross Plat Chat podcast. Welcome on in and hanging out with us tonight, man. Just breaking down some E3 here. So then there was Final Fantasy Origins. They showed off, which is basically a Souls-esque type Final Fantasy coming from Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja, which
I mean, it looked pretty.
I played the demo.
Oh yeah,
I deleted it after an hour. It is a hot mess.
But you played for an hour. So you delved into it for a little bit.
That's what I said too.
It was 30 minutes of tutorial on how to actually use the buttons.
Okay.
In a field where you're attacking goblins, and then it says, "Okay, we're done. We're gonna shift you into a castle now, and you just go hit goblins."
That's quite the tutorial.
That's
if it takes a half hour.
Hour to learn. Damn, that's a course.
The demo looked kind of like a PS3 game.
Ooh,
damn!
Ouch.
Yeah,
ow.
I'm gonna agree with Tony from Throwdown Show, Tony Planca, and that it looked like a PS3 game, and the menu system was convoluted.
Okay.
The action buttons were convoluted.
Bummer.
They were trying to kind of be an FF15, but at the same time be a Souls game. It's a hot mess.
Light attack, heavy attack. It's not that hard.
And they're up on the shoulders too. That's the thing. It's R1 and R2.
Really? What?
Yeah, it's not even conventional.
Weird. See, that's weird. I hate it when games do that. No.
And you can remake it, the remake is terrible.
It's always
here's the thing. This is a demo. So I hope the devs, look at it with some feedback and come back with something better, because I do think there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there that are clamoring for this. Yes. And they deserve a good game, just like the Halo fans deserved a good Halo Infinite, which we're going to talk about Xbox here.
Those providing feedback, please provide constructive feedback.
Guys, that's a one thing, guys, is you can't stress enough is, guys, give it constructive feedback. Do not go in there on their Twitter accounts and threaten them, call them names, try and be bullies. Guys, give them constructive criticism that says, hey,
and
this
no
is
answer saying
good.
Make game better. That says nothing.
Give them how to make it better.
Yeah. And good constructive criticism does involve proper grammar as well.
Correct. And then we had Capcom, which again wasn't really memorable because,
to be perfectly honest, I don't remember that entire show, even though I
they
watched
talked about
it.
DLC for Resident Evil Village.
I don't remember seeing
Oh
that.
damn! No, I don't remember seeing that either.
I remember seeing the thank you for about Village, but I didn't see anything after that.
Oh damn!
Les Edgelord, yeah, pretty much Jethrin. But and then half of the presentation was talking about the Ace Attorney game that Jason's been looking forward to.
Yeah.
See, that's when I saw it.
Okay, I remember that.
And your Herlock Sholmes or something like that. It was like
Herlock Shlomes.
But here's the thing: is like Capcom, I would expect more out of them. I mean, they showed off Monster Hunter Stories 2, which honestly, seeing more gameplay, and that teaser and stuff like that, but seeing more gameplay rather with Nintendo Treehouse afterwards, that game looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun, especially the fact that you can hop on a Velociraptor and pretty much go kill stuff with it.
I did like when they would discuss the gameplay with it. That the nice thing about the menu when you're doing that combat and it shows you the little circle of what is better than or what trumps what and everything.
And I think a lot of that might
brilliant how they did that with just
I think a lot of that
simple arrows
from Fire Emblem. Because in Fire Emblem, you have to remember that. You have to remember the weapon triangle. So with Monster Hunter Stories 2, they're giving you that and showing you, hey, as a reminder, here's what beats what. So let's talk Xbox, because Xbox threw down.
I also felt like they won the
They did, and we'll talk about who we thought won and why and all that here in a minute. But
are you including Bethesda in that statement or purely Xbox?
Bethesda's a first party.
Including.
I mean, they're under them, but
yeah,
still.
But no, including. So we got a teaser trailer for Starfield.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
the cinematic looked beautiful.
The cinema, but let's be fair.
But it was a cinematic.
Hold on.
Cinematics 90% of the time look beautiful.
Bethesda's games, from a cinematic perspective, always look good on their trailers.
Oh yeah.
The second you fire up the game, it is buggier than anything.
Or a straight up port.
Yeah. So as expected, as anybody who is in their right mind would understand, when you make a $7.5 billion acquisition of a company the size of Bethesda, it is going to be exclusive to Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
So it is not going to be on PlayStation, which Todd Howard in an interview over the weekend was like, hey, it allows us to focus on making the best game that we can without having to diversify essentially on other things. And Pete Hines came out this week and he says, hey guys, I get it. It sucks because he's like, I have a PlayStation as well, but it's going to be on Xbox. But he did bring up the comparison to Deathloop. And when they said, hey, we're going to make this a PlayStation exclusive, it streamlined the process. It allowed them just to focus on making the best game possible. And I get that. And I think that's probably why you look at Sony's first party studios, why their games are constant hits. They're just focusing on making the best game possible for PlayStation and then releasing bangers like Ratchet and Clank, which we're all playing. So with that, you also got Forza Horizons 5, which, man, the tech they are putting into that game, like that
is insane.
That was photorealistic. I mean, forget the fact that we got a good look at
still
Halo, right?
Smooth as hell.
Yeah.
I saw that game and it's like,
it's not into racing games.
I want to get an Xbox just to play Forza.
I loved how they went through.
The Inception's already in, and you're gonna get an Xbox.
We'll see.
No, you're gonna get one.
Jerry just knows because he full on incepted you. Like, don't even worry about it. He got into the safe, left the picture of an Xbox.
Yep,
it's there.
It's there.
but it was gorgeous, and the tech they are putting into it is really good.
Great reference.
The only thing I don't, for me, is I'm not a fan of the Horizon series just because of it's all more the chaos open world driving, kind of like a Need for Speed. I prefer the numbered Forzas. Always have. I've always thought it's a much better game than Gran Turismo, and that may get a lot of hate from the PlayStation side.
Yeah, that's saying a lot, bro. Because
I feel
Gran
like
Turismo
I still like for
been...
you, there was like 1 year you favored Turismo over Forza, though. I feel like there was one. I think it was like
I have
Gran
always
Turismo
favored
5.
GT. I've always favored over Horizons.
Okay,
hands down. But if I had my choice between Forza and GT, it's going to be the numbered Forza, hands down. Because yes, it is a driving sim and it can go hardcore if you want to, but you can back it down a little. So it's to a point where you can actually really enjoy the game. Like for instance, if you suck at drifting and you keep running into stuff, in GT, it's going to damage your car like no other, and you're not going to be able to finish the race. At least in Forza, you can turn off damage impact. Yeah, your car's going to look jacked up, but it's not going to really hurt the race.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do with Forza, with Forza Horizon.
I mean, it looks amazing. Yeah.
I love that they did locations all over Mexico. I thought that was brilliant to do.
You had Flight Simulator coming to Xbox.
God, that looks so insane how good that was. Like the amount of planes, the locations, just everything. Just
they're getting Top Gun.
Yeah, the Top Gun was pretty sick.
Yeah.
So I was watching the extended showcase today that was hosted by Paris Lowley, which he kind of gave a shout out to Khalif, our good friend Khalif, from Spawn on Me. Okay, so remember they have that whole joke going around about the ribs on who can't cook?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so what happened?
During today, they showed off the return of Xbox Design Lab.
Okay. Yeah, even though Matt and I talked about it earlier today, I still forgot. I got too busy with work and just completely spaced it.
Paris designed this controller.
Oh my god,
that's funny.
To be after the Lakers, and basically he's like talking about it. You couldn't really see it at first, and then he's like,
"That is
now
amazing.
I engraved mine with this."
So good
and they kind of gave a little bit of the story behind it, and it's hilarious.
I'm actually quite a fan of
I just had to show that
too. That's some good language right there.
I mean, honestly, I have to give it to Xbox for having design labs. I've always been impressed with the fact is they allow you to design your own controller with the colors and everything. They charge you a little extra for it, but they allow you to do that. I would love something for like Sony to do something like that. I mean, they dabbled in the faceplates and stuff with the original PS4, and they didn't really go anywhere with it.
Otherwise, you're stuck with third party that isn't that great.
But the reason Flight Simulator looks so good is because it's running on an Azure backbone. So as you're playing it, it is streaming in all the information behind it.
Oh, wow.
So it's allowing it to do the photorealistic. Like Jerry mentioned, we got they announced Top Gun's going to Flight Simulator. They can't specify what specifically, other than that there's an F-18, there's a carrier, and he did let drop that there might be another plane in the game being introduced, which honestly, that's probably inferring to the F-14 Tomcat. But they are under embargo right now, and they cannot really say anything about it until the movie comes out later this year.
Right.
If it comes out this year.
Oh, it's already been it's slated for holiday.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, they were kind of keeping they postponed it once to the summer, and then it was like, well, we're not looking at being fully open, so they pushed it back to I want to say November or something like that.
Good news for Miles Teller. His comeback is finally scheduled. No joke. That's supposed to be his comeback movie.
Really?
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because he's a. Let's separate the person from the.
He's
actor.
had some hard roles.
Hard roles, but he's also
Really?
to succeed at. Like, I mean, it's not necessarily hard
Whiplash.
to act it, but it's hard to succeed.
No,
with
but
them.
he's had
Fantastic Four.
he's also had some good roles. Well, yeah, that we don't talk about that. But, dude,
there is no way he was going to make that good.
No one,
Nobody
no
was.
one could have. But dude, watch Whiplash.
Whiplash?
Dude, oh yeah.
So,
okay.
Good movie.
We also got Halo Infinite.
Amazing. Looked amazing.
Free to play multiplayer.
To Phil Spencer and the team also at 343, that year delay getting under the hood and actually
was
going
so
in
worth
and
it.
was so worth it. And
yes,
I will say this. I mean, everybody knows. I mean, it's sitting behind me, right? And we know on the podcast, we're predominantly PlayStation, but Halo needs to be good.
Mm-hmm.
The Xbox base deserves it. For me, I still love Halo. I don't have.
I'm gonna find a way to
Xbox,
play it.
But I will probably try it out. Hopefully, if it comes to the iPad version of Game Pass and xCloud and stuff like that, that's probably how I'll try and play it. But it looks amazing. After all these years, Master Chief still showing some empathy towards the AIs. I'm anxious to see where they take it. To Theo's point, the multiplayer is going to be completely free.
To all the listeners, all the viewers, I want all y'all to get creative and create your own red and blue episodes as soon as that game comes out. Please.
Even with, especially with the customizable suits,
right?
It's going to be so amazing.
You know what we need to do?
Those were so funny when they came out, dude. Like that was like YouTube year 2. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I think what we need to do is we need to take us. We get the rupees. We get get the cross-plat chat boys, and we go get Tony and Khalif. Throw in Danny Pena if we want to, right?
Yeah.
And we all get online and we all go make a red versus blue style
that'd be awesome.
game night. And
I will already tell you, as soon as I'm in that game, I will be the distraction for my team because I won't be able to do anything more than that. For that, maybe a random stick every now and then. But other than that.
No, your armor's pink. No, it's fuchsia. It's pink. No, it's fuchsia. That's gonna be you. Are you in the corner?
Oh my god, that reminds me. Did I ever tell you guys the awful nickname or username my friends gave me when we played Halo 2?
Oh no, what?
Local? Oh my god. Okay. They named me Pink Chink.
Damn.
And they gave me pink armor.
Wow.
Damn.
And Jethro just said he's down for it.
Yes.
Oh, awesome, man.
Bring it.
Totally.
I may just have to get a.
I will do absolutely horrible, but I will have fun.
We can make it happen.
I might think about that too.
I mean,
like if it's
honestly, it's Halo.
If it's Game Pass and we do that, I would totally throw down with some PC Game Pass.
Yeah,
we got to do it.
But I mean, the other thing that they announced too is that they have, all these games are coming day one to Game Pass. So for those on the Xbox side that are part of the Game Pass ecosystem, that's a huge win for them.
I don't think any of them really stipulated whether or not it was going to be on both Xbox and PC day one for Game Pass, right?
They did not, from the way it looked to me, and I may be interpreting it differently, but
I think they were implying
it did look
both.
Like some of it was going to go both and some of it wasn't, because Game Pass on PC, like you've tested it before, it's a little bit lacking. So
that was forever ago. I need to re-download it.
Yeah, so we'll see where it goes.
And
that's just like the high level stuff. And then it finished out with the new game from Arcane, which looks like you're a vampire hunter or something in this small town. It looked really cool.
That one looked fun, but I once again want to see gameplay. But once again, man, like all of these announcements have been they're maybe not great. Like Halo was great, but like they're all solid for me. Like Xbox already
it was a
has
solid
stronger,
it was a solid presentation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought they gave just amount of excitement, like without over promising anything, but just gave right amount of tease.
And they had everything they wanted to show that was ready, like especially Halo. A lot of people were, that high expectations for that, and they passed because it looked great. Made the right announcements, making it free to online play. The whole thing was solid. They did a great job.
And Tony, I'm going to say this with all the love in the world.
Oh,
Reach is still the best.
Anyways.
Which one did
I
you
love
say?
Reach.
Throwing down the gauntlet.
I love Halo Reach.
I didn't play Reach.
Swan
I think
song.
I stopped at. I think I stopped at OST, and that was why.
ODST.
Yeah.
When Bungie was smart enough to go get Nathan Fillion for buck.
That's why I love Guardians, because you get to see the cast a little bit more.
We're looking at you, Naughty Dog, who decided not to cast Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake all those years ago. God, big miss. Anyways,
I mean, he's still Nathan Fillion is just still doing so good as an actor. Like in Rookie,
is
so good.
Yeah, I still need to finish
that show.
I need to finish the season.
You didn't finish the season?
We haven't yet. Dude, we were moving and then trying to get everybody's schedule lined up. And
bro, you are gonna love the end.
Anyways, and then we had Nintendo on Tuesday to kind of really finish things off. And
best day.
Nintendo. So here's my thing is, I reacted with, and I'm going to say this bluntly. Hey, Jethrin, I'm telling you, I love Reach. You're playing it right now. But so I reacted in our group text, and I'll say it bluntly. I said, "Holy fuck, Nintendo!" with exclamation points at the start of that presser. And it wasn't necessarily that they were putting Kazuya into Smash Brothers. It was the fact is that trailer had him dumping bodies into a canyon.
Yeah,
I love dropping Kirby.
Nintendo
dropping Kirby was the best.
I was waiting for Kirby just to float up and then suck him in, and then look like Devil Kirby. But it was more that it was just that him taking Ganondorf, starting off and just a limp body and just going into a canyon. It's like bye. It's like bye, Felicia.
It was cool
and
it was playful, which was awesome.
Here's the thing, though, is like honestly, there's so many characters out there though that you could really bring into the game.
Yeah,
and I get that Namco has helped develop Smash Brothers and they need their character, but there's still more out there that you could have brought into play. And some of the characters now, I mean, I have Smash. I haven't played it in a little while. But, you're starting to just bring back Fire Emblem characters. Steve from Minecraft. Really? Did you need Steve from Minecraft?
That was
that's why, for me, it was just like, okay, cool. He's on Smash Brothers. But it was still another Smash Brothers announcement. Okay.
I mean, there has been one
for me,
every year.
Right.
It is a big,
right?
It is a big,
and it is a big game. It's a big esport. I get that. I get that. But still, for me, they're still at level Nintendo. It's nothing spectacular.
So
it wasn't bad, but
and we'll kind of move into something else was.
That's why
Mario
I think it was
Party All-Stars.
Yeah.
We're kind of on the level, right? And I think this is where. And first, I want to say is, Nintendo already started getting flack earlier in the day before they even started because they told everybody you can't co-stream the Direct. This is the first Direct that they've done where they didn't allow co-streaming. So Twitch said, hey, we're not going to co-stream. If you're not going to let everybody else co-stream, we're not going to co-stream it.
Right.
So I think it was a veiled attempt to say basically if you co-stream it, you're going to get DMCA'd, which a lot of people are afraid of right now.
Yeah.
So rightfully so. But with Mario Party All-Stars, the second I started the trailer, I started getting nightmares and flashbacks because the levels they predominantly showed were from Mario Party 2, which my wife.
I was gonna say the source of your nightmares is what is slightly worse than the game.
But she is whooped my ass at Mario Party 2 more times than I can count. There has only been one time I've ever won, and you damn well sure I documented that thing on Facebook for prosperity. But it is something that we're going to pick up. I agree with a lot of people out there that maybe it should have been more of a DLC for Mario Party, on the Switch, but instead they're putting it out as a full price game.
I think the content that they were putting in, I don't think it would have been.
It's 100 mini games. That's and some of the boards. That's it. It's more. It's from that pre-Wii era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with like maybe a $40 release.
Make it a $40 download. But they're doing it $60. But it's Nintendo being Nintendo. And then we had the return.
And this was a big that was a big announcement. That was a good one, but
again, kind of mediocre. Then you had the announcement that WarioWare is coming back, which a lot of people are super excited for about that. I never got into them. And then
the gameplay was a little weird. Like
it was
very Paper Mario-esque for it, and I was confused by it because I hadn't seen previous games of it.
As Jethrin pointed out, and I pointed out at the top of the show.
Oh yeah,
Metroid.
Immediately
for the first time in 19 years, we are getting a side-scrolling Metroid. Metroid 5 Dread was announced, and I am super excited for it. I mean, everybody knows Metroid is one of my favorite franchises, right along with Zelda. Granted, I haven't liked all the Zeldas in the series. And to be fair, I thought Other M was complete trash for a Metroid game.
But what was Other M the Wii one?
That's the Wii one.
Okay.
The Wii one where you turn the remote sideways. Point and shoot. But I think the reason I hated it more is you took Samus Aran, who is a badass female protagonist character, and you turned her into a whiny, subservient character. That all she kept saying was baby the whole game. So it was like, no. Teenagers are terrible with it. So
they tried because I mean, like the biggest thing with Metroid Prime, or Metroid series that I've enjoyed is the aerobatics. I'm horrible on words. But just how smooth, acrobatics in order to be smooth and move around in order to dodge, and like you take that away with Wii, and like how are you gonna do that? I watched Dread problems. And I was super excited with seeing that gameplay.
It looks great.
How smooth the mechanics were, everything going.
I made the comparison though. It's like Mr. X came to Metroid. Because you have Emmy, which is essentially like Mr. X, in Resident Evil, that's going to be hunting Samus. And for those that aren't up to speed on the Metroid games, this is Metroid 5. This game it takes place right after Metroid Fusion. In the trailer and even the post gameplay, you got to see the fusion tanks that you go to and whatnot. And Emmy is a Galactic Federation robot.
Okay.
So
I have a quick question out of lack of knowledge of Metroid.
Thank you. Me too.
So if it's Metroid 5, is Metroid Prime a separate run? Because isn't the next Metroid Prime 4?
Yeah.
So you have Metroid Prime 4 coming out. So
okay.
So Metroid Prime takes place after all of this. So this is essentially a prequel to Metroid Prime.
Okay.
Because the Prime are the main stories of how it started and how it's been going.
No, the main line is Metroid, Super Metroid, Metroid Fusion, Return of Samus, and now Metroid Dread.
Okay.
Oh,
so Metroid Prime is more like prologue?
No, it's after the fact. It is. I mean,
okay.
All of that is kind of after.
Weird.
It's
okay.
It's kind of convoluted, like Zelda is.
Okay.
Got it.
All the different timelines and stories.
But it's more just kind of where it all fits into place. It's still It is still the same Samus throughout all of it. It's
okay.
Speaking of Zelda,
Speaking of which,
the bigger
talk about
the one that I originally missed.
I am going to get
the Breath of the Wild.
You mean tell me you
fan
didn't
Among
already
Us.
pre-order? Or did you already check at least?
I already checked. Yes, I did already.
Okay. So Jethro, thanks for so Jethro just put in is Prime takes place after 1 but before Return of Samus.
Oh,
the first Prime or the whole
man.
Prime story?
Because in Metroid Prime,
I'm guessing the first Prime.
There are the Metroids, and Samus kills all but the one baby in 2. So so the Primes take place there and
cool,
and
yeah.
Okay. So it's been a long time since I've done an actual straight playthrough, boom, like chronological.
Okay.
But anyways, like we're talking about Breath of the Wild 2. We got a new teaser trailer for it. You get to see that it's taking place above Hyrule now.
I feel like they were like trying to say that they are going to improve on Skyward Sword by going up for the most part, with the exception of the whole sword mechanics than Skyward Sword, but still, like story-wise, going back into the skies and everything like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of thought that too. I was like, Skyward Sword much? Like, yeah, okay, but I'm gonna go.
Maybe we can redo it.
Yeah,
do it better.
But it looks beautiful, and there was a lot in that trailer.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited about the mechanics. Like when he turned into the like dewdrop or whatever and went through the stones to go up. That was cool.
But I think I think people missed his right arm is altered. And I think I think is when they're in that cave going to probably stop.
You're talking the initial teaser trailer from E3 2019.
Yeah, but continued into the trailer, the full trailer that they showed. For a split second, you see that darkness, and I think the Shrika slate burst, and I think that the Shrika slate is came attached to his arm, and so that's how you're going to be able to do the dewdrop because now it's a part of you. That's my prediction, and that's kind of what I saw in the trailer. Like for a moment,
I'll get it. I'll play it. It's
I will.
I mean, I have Breath of the Wild on my Switch. I have Link's Awakening on my Switch, and
I still have them both physically.
I definitely missed the trailer the first time around because I got really turned off by that Game & Watch thing, and I was like,
so
oh my god!
The thing is, we were talking in the chat, right? And you're like, I'm like, there's the trailer, and it's like, what?
Yes. I was so pissed.
Like, I totally
I was.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. And that's, I think, one of the things I'm more upset with Nintendo about is the fact is they did come out and say, well, we have no other plans for Zelda or something this year. It's a 35th anniversary of Zelda and Metroid for that matter.
That was sad, man.
At least with Metroid, we're getting Metroid Prime 5, in October. But both deserve to have collections brought out for those games.
Yeah.
Because yes, they're not Mario, but there is a fervent fan base for both Zelda and Metroid that exists in the Nintendo.
It's getting tired of waiting.
And getting tired of waiting.
Like, no joke.
And bring us Wind Waker. I don't care if you port it to the Switch because the HD remake version that was on the Wii U and
was still great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But we need Twilight Princess. We need Ocarina of Time on the Switch. We don't have those.
Majora's Mask.
Kind of
Wind Waker.
I mean, Majora's Mask, but Wind Waker more.
I play them back to back. I got to play them back to back. But Ocarina was better.
Even with Metroid, right? Port Return of Samus to the Switch.
Yeah,
that thing looked great on the 2DS and the 3DS XL. Bring them over to the Switch. Bring Fusion to the Switch. Give us a Metroid Prime trilogy set. They really dropped the ball, and instead of giving Zelda fans a collection like they did with Mario, they got a Game & Watch. A Game & Watch that, yes, it's tiny, you can fit in a pocket really easily, but those games are available on the Switch in both Switch Online and in Link's Awakening. So
it was just, it just felt like a slap in the face. It just felt like a complete cash grab. You know, like get it in this little mini.
But this is the
limited
second Game and
edition.
Watch, right? Because they did one with Mario beforehand,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the purpose of it being made. Like the Game and Watch.
I didn't understand it back in the 80s
because it's
when it
limited
came
edition and like.
Oh, it was back in the 80s?
Yeah.
Game and Watch came out in the 80s originally.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
But it's probably still popular. I mean, I can see the popularity because it's mobile, it's small.
Mm-hmm.
You know, little kids would do it, but yeah, I mean, this was when I got disappointed when I was like, so that's what they're announcing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how I got bored really quick, and I went back to my work, and that's how I missed the trailer.
Jerry, with what you said earlier, I would agree with you. I think Microsoft, hands down, won E3.
Yeah.
Both in the games and for their player base. The fact is, all those games were coming to Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
So
I thought Microsoft provided more to the gamers. I personally thought Nintendo's showcase was more enjoyable than Microsoft, though.
I think it's
from an entertainment standpoint.
For me, like that was a standard direct.
It was
it
wasn't E3 level.
Yeah, that's
a fair point.
the problem. That's the problem I had with it was that it was a standard direct. When it comes to E3,
okay,
you know.
So to our point about Game and Watch, Jethro just put in chat. He said, "I bought both of the Game and Watches, and I don't really know why."
Oh my god!
So, but that being said, and I'm gonna throw out
tabletop clocks. That's what they're just going to be is tabletop clocks.
For the Xbox community, right? Is Xbox is finally at that point where they're back. They're back to where Xbox should have been.
They're listening to they're listening to their fans too.
Yeah, they've been putting in the work. They've been taking their time.
Yep.
And taking a lot of input.
Listening. Yeah.
And it's with Phil Spencer's leadership as well as Sarah Bond.
Mm-hmm. They did it with a lot of determination because there was so much hate during this journey.
So we've got Devin from the Cross-Flat Chat Boys in the chat as well, and he's throwing shade at his own boy. So I love seeing this at game night. And yes, Devin, I am giving Xbox the very much due deserve with what we're saying right now.
Oh yeah, totally.
They absolutely
won.
Phil Spencer's got them where they need to be right now, and it's really good to see. You have PlayStation firing on all cylinders. You have Xbox now firing on all cylinders. You're going to see a lot of the games, later this year, especially with Halo Infinite. But then a lot of games coming next year, right? And then Nintendo is doing Nintendo. I mean, with everything they got coming out as well. So, it is a great time to be a gamer, regardless of what console you're on. Don't give me this whole Sony pony, Xbox, Nintendo crap. There is no console
play it all.
war. Just
play
it
all
where you want to play. And I think that Xbox has got they've diverged onto their own path. Their path is now moving to services with Game Pass, and it is working really well for them. Long-term viability of Game Pass, though, that still remains to be seen. Granted, they're bringing
ruling in their favor.
It is ruling in their favor right now. But what's the long
good roll of the dice right now
look like?
I think they have
I hope it succeeds.
Good outlook for it.
I think so too.
At least a good 10 years.
Yep.
I think a good 10 years.
And hey,
it's going to be a new cash cow for them for a while.
2 years ago, we basically, when they first said, "Hey, we're bringing Game Pass," Jerry and I both said, "No, it's probably not going to work out." And
I was like, major gamble there.
It was a major gamble, and it paid off. And we're eating crow over it. But honestly, it's great to see all three companies, as Devin put, all three of them flexing.
But they're all flourishing in their own way. It's
correct,
and they're all strong. Where, like you said, it's a great time to be a gamer, man.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And if you're a fan of all three, we
had the introduction
great content
of a old company bringing a new console to market with the Intellivision Amico, which I'm talking to them about potentially getting them on the podcast here next month, and we can talk about the Amico and where they feel it it positions themselves. They even said themselves, they are not here to compete with the big three.
Right.
They are here to complement the big three.
Which is fair.
As a secondary console for the
definitely
family.
intriguing.
And
I was glad that we talked about that last show and looked it up, and that I actually had a picture of the controller in my mind when watching that.
The OG, right? And it makes sense. It is very much rooted in the television too, is what the Miko kind of is. And even during their presentation, you had classic games from that era in Shark and Snafu, which is kind of like a Centipede style type game, which
I hate that we had to say shark because now I have baby shark stuck in my head.
Baby shark baby shark.
I'm also very sorry, but
anyways,
I have no idea what these games are. It's a little before my time.
No, I don't know the games either.
Hold on.
Just the name Shark.
You are not that
in my head.
It is not that far before your time. It was kind of like, you know, you either
before
had an
you
Atari
could
and a television.
Maybe you held it, but you didn't know what you were holding.
Most people, honestly, not a lot of people had the Intellivision too. But for those that grew up with an Intellivision, we know those games. Just like there's Tron Deadly Discs that they are talking about bringing to the console. Oh, you know, they did say that Earthworm Jim 4 is going to be exclusive to the Amico.
What?
And it is the original team.
Oh, that's so unfair.
And
I thought, correct again, due to lack of knowledge, wasn't Earthworm Jim mainly a Sega?
Yes,
it was Sega and Super Nintendo.
And Super Nintendo. That's right. Earthworm Jim 2.
Devin's got, you know, a Rugrat 2, and yes, Devin, it absolutely should be illegal to sing Baby Shark. But ultimately, though, even with all these announcements and stuff, I still think Microsoft clearly won it by everything they presented, everything they showed, coming from Bethesda and
and then the remaining showcases just didn't do it for me at all. Like Razer,
and Nintendo was right there behind them for me, you know, in terms of what they kind of announced. To me, that Nintendo Direct could have been all Metroid, and I still would have been ecstatic. Devin, go have fun putting the kids to bed. I will be doing that right after we're done recording, so I'm right there with you, gamer dads. But it is one of those things that Nintendo was it was a normal Direct.
Yeah,
it wasn't an E3 level Direct like we have come to expect in years past. So with that,
with Nintendo, I ended up enjoying the Treehouse more than the Direct.
Yes, absolutely.
The Treehouse tends to be more enjoyable.
Yep. So the one thing I got to ask this question is because we know with Summer Game Fest, it kicked off that Thursday before E3. Right. Somebody asked in a Q&A with Jeff Keighley today, does he see in-person events happening for Game Fest? He said he would love to figure out a way to incorporate in-person. So given what E3 is right now and what Game Fest is looking like, and we know that Jeff Keighley was like, hey, peace, I'm out, because he didn't like the direction that E3 was going. PlayStation bounced out because they didn't like the direction E3 was going.
True.
Do we see Game Fest next year taking over for what E3 is or has been? And is there a place for E3 anymore?
You know what? It's too early. It's still too early to tell in my eyes.
I would probably predict if there is an in-person both Summer Game Fest and E3, I would predict it would be the death of E3.
I have to go. I have to see the first year. I have to gauge the first year. From the first year, especially with the expertise of Jeff Keighley, he knows his stuff. So I'm sure he's going to have something planned for Game Fest, and see what changes or what kind of direction E3 is supposed to be going, because they still don't really have a direction.
No. They don't. And that's going to be the big question mark going forward.
So that's why I think gauging on what their idea of what to do now, and to gauge Summerfest for the first year, I would wait and gauge and see what
for both of you or in chat too, what do you think would be like the key thing to direction Summerfest should go in order to kill E3?
Summer Game Fest needs to get the buy-in from the other. I think they need to have Nintendo there.
Okay.
Which Nintendo is staunchly on E3 and has been forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna need to get probably more PlayStation buy-in, because we know PlayStation is one of the anchors of E3.
Yeah.
And
I also think location.
Outside of that, you're gonna need to have actual demos at Summer Game Fest of the games on the different consoles. You
But
cannot
how do you
the route that Game Fest has, where they put all the demos out on Steam.
Okay, but how do you end up thinking that you get Nintendo, you get PlayStation and to buy in order to be in
Easy.
person?
Keeley goes to them and says, "Hey, we're doing Summer Game Fest. We want you to be there."
That's why.
Throw that weight, Keeley. Throw that weight.
No, but what I'm saying is that you charge less,
but I also say less prices and location. I think the location is going to be key too.
You charge less for floor space because E3 charges a premium for that floor space. True. And that's why EA went and did their own thing. So you charge less for your floor space. You tell them it's going to be a gaming celebration, like a PAX or Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, where it's not so much rooted in the past of being an industry thing. I think that's how you kind of get Nintendo in. You say it's going to be about the gamers, which is what Keeley's all about right now.
Mm-hmm.
So more like a con?
Yeah.
I mean, like, because I've been to PAX East before. I thought that was really fun. Like, it's a mix between like an E3 and a con.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they had the
Maybe
same.
That's what it needs.
They had the same like demo booths or like trailer booths that you'd see at E3, but then you'd still have all the indie booths like E3, but then you'd still have all the merch, the artists, all that stuff, all at PAX.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So with that, outside of Ratchet and Clank, which we've already talked about us all playing, Jerry, what you been playing?
Nothing.
I mean, but Ratchet and Clank is so good, and really it looks so good.
Yeah, I've been I've been mesmerized by how good it looks, and just how lively every level like feels with the NPCs and their little robots. Like I'm into it. So yeah, I'm already like 70%. I think it says on my save.
I just love that they introduced another Lombax, and it's a playable Lombax, and it's just so good.
Like I don't know what I have the funnest, but the fact that you can change the armor and the uniform.
Marty McFly.
I love him. I love.
Oh, I have that chest.
That one's awesome.
Oh, I have the whole outfit.
I'm missing the helmet for that one.
Oh my god, dude, so great.
So Theo, have you played anything other than Ratchet and Clank?
Mainly Ratchet and Clank. I'm still dipping my toes with Destiny and still here and there hitting up some Uncharted and Last of Us Part 2.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Good.
I fired up Intergrade FF7 Remake.
Oh yeah? How's that?
It is definitely pretty. Photo mode is not great. It's not great.
Oh, that's the way to lose Matt. It doesn't have a good photo mode.
You don't have a ton of options. Where you look at Ratchet and Clank, right? You can do all the lighting and everything, kind of like Miles Morales. It is.
I haven't tried it. I'm not surprised that you immediately went for a photo mode.
Oh yeah, I gotta post it. I did a kind of picture of her as like Marty McFly and stuff. So, but intermission, I started that with Yuffie. Yuffie, when she gets built, I think she's gonna be just a stupid overpowered character in terms of like she's got the way she attacks and everything. You can lock down an enemy real quick, and there's not much they're gonna be able to do with it. So
sweet.
It definitely is pretty. It was kind of nice, seeing a high def Barrett and hearing John's voice again.
Sick.
And look at that. Roche himself has jumped in the game night. So with that though, it is absolutely gorgeous. You can tell that they did the work on it. I wish they would have done a better photo mode from an accessibility standpoint. So you could kind of do it in battle and you could and whatnot. playing more of the MLB The Show.
Nice.
My Rockies are now 11-2.
How'd my boys do?
My
only
losses are to the Dodgers.
Both losses are to the Dodgers. Oh,
opening day, and lost the last game of the last series against the Dodgers. So the game I lost, I hung a slider. I released it poorly and whatnot. So
that's so funny.
So with that, guys, I want to thank everybody who hopped in chat tonight, hung out with us, crashed game night with us. It's always a pleasure.
Always fun.
Austin, guys. We'll talk. We got to get you back on. We'll do it when things simmer down for you a little bit at home. Definitely don't want to take away from you, focusing on Riker, his healing, you getting a little bit more of your show done as well. So we'll definitely get you back on. You're a family to us. So with that though, guys, also want to thank everybody that's listening to us at home. We've seen amazing things as of late for the podcast and listening to the home viewers. So thank you guys once again. The first time you're tuning into us, guys, make sure you hit that follow button on Twitch, or you hit this, the follow button on whatever podcast platform you're checking us out on. You can also go to crashandgamenight.com. I'm working on an E3 review kind of article and video and stuff that, for the website as well. And I'll get some more of the in-game photo mode shots posted as well. So I'm working on a couple of ones from the show as well. Because I think it's pretty. But as always, guys, please be excellent to each other in these days and time, and stay frosty.
Brr, frosty. It's cold in here. What up? That's right, nerds. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for getting all cozy with us. Listening.
I'm having some weird things with songs in my head because you said cold in here, but somehow I got Nelly's Hot in Here now.
Oh my god!
It's just
all right.
I'm just
Nelly,
all kinds of crazy right now.
That's so
great. We just need to cut Jerry off
now. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Remember, please still show your support. Black Lives Matter. Stop that Asian hate. Support the LGBTQ communities. Man, just show your support, even if it's just to give a helping hand or give a compliment. And if you see something, record it, say something. Don't let anything pass if you see anything wrong going on. So thank you guys, and please be safe out there.
Yep. Theo, send us out like only you can.
Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Make sure you join us next time. Till then, TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Night, everybody.
Later.